Hi, everybody, and welcome to Read Aloud author interview with Jennifer Summerville. Yes, I'm your host, Jennifer Summerville. Today we have such a brilliant author. Her name is Miss Lisa, and she comes with such an inspiring message. Her children's book title is Let's Talk, a story about autism and friendship. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring her in and get this interview started. Hi, Miss Lisa.
Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
And wow, how are you today?
Good. I'm very excited to be here.
Awesome. I'm excited to have you here today. So, to get the interview kicked off and started, I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite season and why?
My favorite season is definitely the fall. I love how the leaves change colors and how pretty it gets. And I love the cooler weather where it's the 70s and you can still wear some summer stuff. And my birthday is actually in the fall. It's in October. And I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. So it's just really fun. All the pumpkins and the scary stuff. I love the fall. It's my favorite time.
Creepy crawlies and scary stuff.
Yeah, the haunted houses,
That's
apple
awesome.
cider, all of it.
Yummy. Hay rides.
Yes, I love hayride,
Yeah,
pumpkin
all
and
is
apple
awesome.
picking. Yeah, there's so much fun stuff to do. I love the fall.
So, Miss Lisa, I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite genre of movies? Do you like horror movies because you like the Halloween, the
You do?
mystery, or are you more like a Disney princess?
Oh no, I like the horror and the thriller. I watched all the classics this year in October, all the Freddy and Jason and all the Michael Myers movies, Halloween. I love them all.
Oh,
The
you're in it. You're in it
Oh
to win
yeah.
it.
Like all the old ones. It has to be a really good, really, really good one if it's new for me to actually like it.
That is amazing. Awesome. I'm so happy that you like horror movies. I am a Disney princess girl.
They're so
I
amazing
love
too. I love Frozen.
I
I
love
love
it. Yes.
Frozen, Moana, all of those.
That is awesome. Thank you for letting us get a little sneak peek of you and who you are. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions here to get the interview started about you and your journey as a children's author and about your book. My question is, I know it's exciting. My first question is, how long have you been writing children's books?
So Let's Talk is actually my first children's book that I've ever written, but I've actually been writing short stories since I was 7 years old. And then I wrote this, and since COVID, I've been home and I've had time. I've written about half the books that are going to be in the series. I've written some short stories, and I actually wrote my family history in a short story that's going to be a book. So I absolutely love writing. I wrote this book almost 2.5 years ago now.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations on all
Thank
your
you.
accomplishments.
Thank
So
you.
tell us about your first journey, like
Mhm.
doing this first book. What was your journey like creating Let's Talk? It is a story about autism, which is a really neat topic to talk about. I believe in educating our community.
Absolutely.
So I really think this is a very important book. So what was the thought process behind writing this book?
So it was actually inspiration from my job. I work with little ones that have autism and developmental disabilities. At the time, I was doing in-home applied behavior analysis, and it's a common theme that you see over and over. And I just got to a point where I wanted to do something to inspire and show families what I see about autism. And I really got inspired by one of my clients. And then as inspiration came, I just wrote it down in a note in my phone. And then I sat down one weekend and put it all together. And that's how it came to be. Yeah.
So let's talk, sorry, a story of autism and friendship was a weekend book. How
It was.
talented are you?
Thank you so
Good
much.
for you.
Oh, that means so much to me.
Yes, that.
Yeah, writing is very easy to me, and I kind of can picture things in my head and then just put it on the page, and it kind of just flows. And when I get started like that, I can write for an hour and I'm done. And I
That
do
is
that with school too. So, I just was able to piece everything together and finalize it. My aunt helped me with editing. She's amazing, so it came together very quickly, and I am extremely proud of it.
You should be proud. This is a
Yeah.
really important topic and a really important children's book.
Yeah.
So what are you working on now, Miss Lisa, that you would like to share with today's viewers?
Oh, I am actually working on getting my second book in the Let's Talk series into publication. I have a Kickstarter going right now for help with paying for it, because I am going to self-publish again. You can find it under the same name as this book. It shows the cover of this. And the second book is really going to be about the girls going on an adventure. So it's really continuation of this. So that's what I'm working on, hopefully going into publication in January 2021.
Yay! So you got some big things happening for you.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So excited.
So do you write your books? So what inspires you? Do you like perfect silence, or do you write while listening to music? And if so, what kind of music do you listen to inspire you while you're writing your books?
So I do listen to music, and what happens is I kind of go into almost like a trance, and I just write, and I end up blocking out the music, and I'll come out of it and realize, oh, what song is this? Because I will completely block out the music, but it really does help me write. I've tried writing in silence, and I can't focus. For some reason, the music helps me focus, and then I just blast out everything I need. And then I'll look at the page and I'm like, oh, wow, I did all that.
Well, yeah.
It's really fun.
You finished the book in the whole weekend, so that's amazing.
It works.
It works.
And I love listening to a lot of reggaeton when I do my writing. So I listen to a lot of Daddy Yankee, a lot of, Wisin and Yandel. I love listening to Despacito, things like that. Yeah.
Amazing. That's wonderful.
On Spotify, and I go to it's awesome.
There you go. So tell us a little bit about this story, because I know we're going to do a little teaser afterward, but I just want the viewers to kind of get a little idea about Let's Talk. And just tell us a little bit about the story, and what do you want us as your viewers to take away from the message that you're trying to portray in this story?
So this story follows two little girls, one with autism and one that is what we call neurotypical. And the little one that's neurotypical is narrating the story. She meets a new friend, and she realizes this friend, she can't talk, she can't communicate. So she goes home, she talks to her mom, and she becomes very determined to find a way to communicate with her friend. And when she does, they become best friends. And the neat thing about this is, because I have a background in applied behavior analysis, everything in this book is techniques that I've used. I've worked with communication a lot throughout my career. The communication device she uses is stuff I've used before. So I feel like this book is very relatable. I feel like what goes on in it is very relatable. And that's what I really want, is my families to relate to the book. I want my families that have an autistic little one to realize their child can do any and everything. They should not hold them back from trying anything. And I want families without an autistic little one, with neurotypical ones, to be like, hey, why don't you go befriend them? I want them to encourage their children to be friends with anybody, no matter disability, color, race, ethnicity, any of that. I want them to look beyond it. And that's part of why, too, I made my characters what I did. I wanted diversity in my book. I really wanted there to be something different than what's going to be probably expected of me. There's going to be even more of that in my second book.
Yay!
But that's there's going to be a lot more coming.
Good for you.
Yeah, and I really want to inspire families, and it really starts with our children. Our children are the ones going to grow up and set the tone. And I was raised to be open to everybody, no matter what. So I want that for our children. And I really want to change that stigma around autism. I want them to see what I do. Autism is just a different way to learn.
That's the truth. And I love the way you put it so beautifully.
Thank you.
And I love that you mentioned diversity because there's not one way of learning. There isn't one way of doing anything. And the more exposure that children have with learning differences and children that are not like them or don't look like them, it makes children welcome
Yep,
more
exactly.
children in different backgrounds, cultures, learning differences. And that's why diversity is so important. And I applaud you with
Thank
your
you.
book. And you did such a good job.
Thank you
So
so
without
much.
any
Thank you
further
for
ado,
helping me.
you're welcome. Without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to take a little commercial break. I'm going to let you go ahead and grab your book. And then when we come back, I can't wait for this teaser. And you can also say to the viewers where they may purchase your book.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
You're welcome. We'll be right back with Miss Lisa. Hi, guys. We will be right back with Miss Lisa. But right now, I am going to also introduce myself. My name is Jennifer Summerville, and I am the author of His Love Well. This book is written and inspired by faith-based principles with about children. Sorry, dealing with loss of a loved one, a pet. Um, and it shows also how families come together to also enrich the love of God and faith-based principles that help children get through their difficulties and challenges with dealing with loss. This is a great book, and you can purchase it at www.jennifersomerville.com. And without any further ado, we are going back to Miss Lisa, and we're going to hear about her wonderful book, Let's Talk, a story about autism and friendship. Miss Lisa!
Hey. Hi, Jennifer.
So I am going to go ahead and remove myself from the screen, and I'm going to let you have a couple of minutes with your viewers, and we're going to let you, do your thing.
Awesome. I'm going to read part of the book so you guys can get an idea of what my book is. So as you can see, it's got beautiful, colorful illustrations. This dedication page. All right, so here's the first page. Hi, my name is Harper. This is the story of how I met my best friend Emma, who happens to have autism. This is Emma. This is Harper, and this is Emma. It was finally summer, my favorite time of the year. I love the summer because I can go to the pool. The pool is my favorite place because I have to swim. I love to swim and play games with my friends. One day, I saw a new girl at the pool. She was standing by herself on the steps. She was acting a little silly, flapping her hands with a big smile. She seemed nice, so I decided to go say hi to her anyways. I walked over to her and said, "Hi, my name is Harper. What's your name?" She smiled at me, but did not respond. I decided to ask her if she wanted to play with my tube and so held it out to her. Again, she smiled at me and made some noises. She continued to flap her hands, smiling, and reached out for the tube, still making noises. I realized she wanted to play with my tube. I said, "Great, you can play with the tube and I'll swim with you." We both got into the pool and she took my tube. I swam around her and we laughed and played. We had the best time. We played for what felt like hours. She did not talk, but she made noises when I would talk to her. Then my mommy came and said it was time to go home. I asked my new friend for my tube, but she just smiled at me. Her mommy came over and said, "Emma, please give your friend back her tube." It took her mommy, Miss Therese, a few tries to convince her, but she finally gave the tube back to me. I said, "Thank you, Emma. I hope I see you tomorrow." Emma smiled at me and flapped her hands. Miss Therese smiled at me too and said, "Yes, we will be here tomorrow." And then I went home with my mommy. The girls playing. At home, my mommy asked me about my new friend. I said, "I like her, but she didn't talk to me. She only smiled and flapped her hands and sometimes made noises I couldn't understand. She was being silly." Mommy said, her name is Emma. She is 7 years old, like you, and they have just moved into our neighborhood. Then she said, Emma has autism, which makes it difficult for her to talk, and sometimes she may do silly things like stare or flap her hands. I asked, what is autism? Mommy said, autism is a disorder that a person is sometimes born with and will have for their entire life. She said, autism can make it hard for a little one like you to understand how to deal with the world around them. They may become overwhelmed easily or communicate in a different manner than we are used to. Mommy continued, Emma may have been flapping her hands as a way to say hello to you. Maybe she could not form the word hello and say it to you, or she could have been overwhelmed with excitement. Sometimes little ones with autism are not able to understand how to interact with other little ones. I said, oh, I didn't know that. I wonder if that is why she didn't speak to me. Maybe she wanted to, but could not form the words. Do you think she was flapping her hands because she was excited to have a new friend to play with? Mommy said that could have been why. Sometimes when a little one has autism and they become excited, they will show it in a way that seems silly to us. To her, flapping her hands may seem normal, even though to us it may seem silly. I said, I understand now. Tomorrow I will flap my hands with her. I began to flap my hands with a big smile on my face. Mommy smiled and said, I think she would like that. I said, but how can I talk to her? It looked like she didn't understand when I said things to her. I frowned. My mommy said, I will call Emma's mommy now and see if there is a way her family communicates with her that we can use. That way you can learn how to communicate with Emma and have fun together. Would you like that? She asked me. Immediately, I shook my head and said, yes, I would really like that. I gave a big smile and was very excited. So that's the teaser. You're going to have to buy my book to see just what happens with Harper and Emma and how Harper has found a way to communicate with Emma. There's summer goes. Hi. I can't hear you. Oh, there we go.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah. I love your story. I love your message. And I just cannot wait to see how the two friends continue with each other throughout their school year. And maybe they could even be friends throughout the summer and just continue until one.
Exactly. You have to go buy my book to see what happens.
That's right. That's right. And can you I don't know if you told us already, but can you tell us where to purchase your book?
Absolutely. You can purchase it at barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, and my website, ljayauthor.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful. This was amazing. You are awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, we'll talk after the interview. But thank you so much for being a participant, and I look forward to any Q&As that may come up in the future. So make sure that you hit, comment if you have any comments or questions for Ms. Lisa about her book. She would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. So just make sure you keep engaging. The purpose of this interview is to connect with the world and connect with you guys as viewers and parents and educators, so you guys can put a personality and a faith behind the author. So we are so grateful for you guys tuning in, and have a wonderful night. It's Lisa. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful night. And we look forward to another wonderful interview with another wonderful author in the near future.
Have a wonderful New Year's. Thank you, Jennifer. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Okay, thank you, everyone. And again, make sure that you purchase Miss Lisa's book, Let's Talk, a story about autism and friendship. Take care, and God bless you all.